put up. I guess I just came off of a crazy review, cutting it up in the ATL, and I'm just so disgusted. I really am. But right now I'm doing Greenleaf, season 1, episode 9, The Broken Road, and it picks up where Grace is sitting there in a stupor because David was shot right in front of her, basically. And then it kind of fades over to the bishop pulling out where he stores his gun, and he, pulls it out and then puts it back in there. Got a nice little metal lockbox for it or whatever, but he was doing that. And then it goes to the deacon board meeting. And they trying to figure out what they're going to do as far as beefing up security, because somebody came to church with the gun. And so, Lady May and the female deacon board president, Connie was sitting there talking about, security should have guns. And the bishop was saying, well, I don't know about that. And they asked Grace what she was thinking. She said, well, it's complicated. And because she didn't really want to get into the whole thing. But Lady May said to them, well, I feel, because for real, I got to give it to Lady, even though she's a bitch. And what's the name? But they are a power couple. And they discuss things between each other, and yes, he'll have the final say or whatever, and she will give that to him. And she knows how to carry on or whatever to get him to fall into place, whatever. But they are a power couple. So they just kind of said, well, we're gonna just play this by ear. So they was talking. Noah said, well, I know somebody who can teach us self-defense tactics, so we can be able to defuse the situation if someone has a gun. And he said, well, you think they can come? Bishop, you think they can come up here? So I'll talk with them. And so the meeting adjourned. So after the meeting, it's going to be awkward between Noah and Grace right now, because he's getting ready to get married. And she's not going to say anything as far as that's concerned or whatever. But he asked her, could he talk to her for a second? And she said, yeah. So they go back to his office. His office is filled with so much stuff for their wedding. It was just like, damn. But he wanted to check with Grace. Reason why it wasn't to talk about them sleeping together the night before. I actually think that they could have went forever without even ever talking about that or whatever. The wedding could have went off without a hitch. But he wanted to know when she was going to go to the police with the evidence that they had on Mac. And she was like, well, I can wait until you get back. Because, at least from their honeymoon or whatever. Well, Grace found out. Oh girl. His wife ends up coming into the room. No. That's not it. I got it wrong. I'm sorry. It was Grace found out that Mac. Well, let me go before I even get to that part again. Yo, Kevin. I don't know what y'all want to do, what y'all trying to do with Kevin or not. But I'm just going to tell you, because I'm in this lifestyle, certain things that he's doing is just not the way that it's done. Okay? Because if you are a straight dude that is curious about messing around with dudes, you're just not going to operate like Kevin operates. You ain't going to be plucking the phone on the gay sites right in front of your damn wife or your girlfriend or your fiance. You're just not going to do that type of shit. any nigga that I mean, first of all, if a nigga that I'm fucking with who's supposed, and that's what I'm, first of all, married, baby mamas, that's me. I don't pretty much like to fuck with nobody in their lifestyle that lives the lifestyle. I want you to still like pussy. Okay? That's me. So when I say strictly dickly, I'm strictly motherfucking goddamn dickly. And don't get it twisted any other way about that. I am strictly motherfucking dickly. I ain't playing flip-flop. I ain't flipping over. We ain't gonna play none of that motherfucking who can get on their back the fastest. No, hell no. Only way you gonna get on your back is if I'm riding your motherfucking ass. But Kevin, he does, it's like, I don't know. And I don't even, and that, see, this is what I'm sitting there saying. I'm getting totally off of what Greenleaf is. But y'all, there's a shortage. There is a motherfucking shortage of motherfucking men because everybody wants to be a motherfucking girl. Everybody wants to be a fucking girl. Come on now, somebody. We got to go back to the day where we have our married men and our straight men, and who just want to get some head sometimes, or some, that might fuck every once in a while. And if you find one of those, they got a million motherfucking goddamn nigga bitches that they can go to. So they ain't really trying to, you can't get up in there and think that you're going to bond them up because they ain't ready to be bonded up like that. They just want fuck. But Kevin ain't giving me that, and I don't know what they're trying to give with Kevin if he's supposed to be. He's not Trey. And he's I don't even understand why he's going through what he's going through. It's not like he's sleeping with somebody and he's trying to figure out if he wants to come out and just say it because I want to be with that person, because he don't even have nobody. He got this Charity with motherfucking twins in her stomach, and this motherfucker's flipping through the motherfucking goddamn phone. And she's figuring something out. And I'm gonna tell you who's gonna blow it all up. Go bring it to you, bring it all out to the forefront. And that's gonna be that choir director, because when she was singing that song, and I was feeling her pain, because right now she thinks it's another woman. She really, really, honestly and truly does. And he's sitting there with his phone, like twisting it back and forth, and I'm like, man, I don't know what you are. I don't know what role you playing, because one thing I do know for sure, when people say that they ain't never messed around before, and then you say, well, what do you think you try to get into? Oh, I want to try everything. How the fuck you just come out wanting to get fucked? How do you just come out wanting to get fucked? Well, first of all, that is not a motherfucking goddamn fantastic feeling. But I'm digressing a little bit. I'm sorry. Let me bring it back a little bit to Greenleaf. I'm sorry. So, Grace finds out that Mac is going to be going on vacation or going fishing or something. And well, first of all, now them little fishing dates is when, you know what? And I just thought about that just now. Because that's what he was doing with one of the girl who had the abortion. He was going on a little fishing trip. So, Grace said, Daddy, can you stop Mac from going out of town? He said, well, why would I do that? So at this particular point in time, because she don't want him going out of town, and I wouldn't be surprised if that little girl who lives in his building, who he had fixed him a drink, if they wasn't going to go fishing. But, so she showed her daddy. And, Bishop could not believe that. He's ready just to go off. She said, wait, just hold on. Don't do it quite yet, Dad. Just get him not to go. And he said, okay. Now, he got this guy. He could bring the gun to church, but, we're going to get past that. So now that she done showed it to, to his dad, she was like, and he was like, well, you know what? We're going to have to go to May on this one, Lady May. She said, no, do we have to, Dad? He said, yeah, because, we ain't going to be able to sit there. This ain't going to be able to fly if we don't run past her. Now, she already coming to run what past me? So they showed her. And she was like, right now, you know how she feels about Grace. She felt like Grace is the devil, and what's the name, and she can't believe that she's trying to accuse Mac of this type of stuff, and there's got to be some other type of explanation. And so I'm like, well, May, did you not know? Did you not know? But now I will sit there and say this. You know how you can know something, but you choose not to really see it, but you kind of feel it. Well, that's actually what happens in this episode too. She know, all these years with Faith and all that stuff, she kind of might have had it in the back of her mind that maybe it did or maybe it didn't. And of course, Grace is a troublemaker, so her sitting there saying this, blah, 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 blah. But she said, I'm going to go talk to the only sensible person in this whole situation and get his side of the story. So since she's getting ready to go approach Mac on that, she had to go catch Noah to let him know to go meet up with his fiance and tell her what the situation is. And so that's what, so when she went to Noah and told him, what was happening, he said, okay, cool. So he went to Isabel and was telling her. Then Grace had to go to Jacob. And Jacob's ready to kill that motherfucker too. He said, I can't even believe this. And so when Lady May goes into Mac denying it to the end. And he's crying. And I know in the past I was sitting there saying Mac looked a little cute or whatever, like he could be a little daddy, but that whole crying and fake bullshit or whatever, Mac, come on now, just save that motherfucking bullshit. You know what you done, and now it's all unraveling on your motherfucking ass. And all these, we don't even know how many girls that you have done it to. And so May was like, she kept on pushing him, but there was something that he said that let her know this motherfucker did this to my daughter. And I don't know what it is that he said. What it is that he said that made her realize that he wrote, but she didn't let him know. She did not let him know. She made it seem like, come on, baby, it's all right. I'll handle this situation. I believe you. And he thought that he got all. He said, well, you want me to talk to James? She said, no, don't worry about James. I'll handle him. James is the bishop, of course. And so anyway, Grace is in her office. And Isabel, Noah's fiance, comes in. Now, she's been thinking all along that they still have feelings for each other. But when he told her what him and Grace was doing and why they were doing it and the whole situation, she said she wanted to come and apologize to Grace. But Grace, she's kind of flighty too. I don't know. She's so emotional. But Grace coming in, she said, oh. And then so she did her apology or whatever. She said, and Grace, what did you think I was going to ask you? She said, oh, nothing. I didn't know. And she said, and that's all Grace had to sit there and say is, I didn't know. So she goes, but when she asked her that, I knew she was trying to get me see what Grace was going to be able to say. So she went to Noah, and I said, if she sits there and makes Noah think that Grace, play it like, well, Grace told me what y'all did. That's what I thought she was going to do, but she didn't do that. She just went to me and she said, look, Mama, because the mom and them was in town for the wedding. The wedding's supposed to be like the next day or that weekend or whatever the case may be. Because they had their little memorial service for David, the one that got shot. And but Mom and them was in town, right? And he said, can I speak to she said, Mama, I need to speak to Noah real quick by myself. So she went out in the hallway. She said, now I'm gonna ask you this once. Only once. And I need you to be honest with me and do not lie to me about this, because I'm only going to give you one chance and one chance only. did you and Grace sleep together? You know what? These motherfuckers on the show, these men are not men at all. I'm telling you. They have no fucking goddamn game at all, period. They do not. I mean, Noah sitting there looking just like the biggest... Jesus. I mean, just a flake, man. I mean, he didn't have to say yes, because I mean, when you have all that, I don't know. I mean, I just would like for there to be, even with Jacob in the very beginning, him fucking Alexis up in the motherfucking closets of the church and stuff like that. Man, come on now. Come on. And then there's a white bitch. I mean, come on now. Just stop it. I mean, can we get... Why can't we get a thug? I don't get it. Why can't we get a thug that knows how to motherfucking handle herself when they got somebody on the motherfucking side? I mean, because I mean, there is nothing but girls on there. There's no men. I mean, if you want to make Bishop, I mean, whatever, back in the day he probably was, but no. And Jacob, he's too soft for me too, because I keep on seeing him and not waiting to accept, why did I get married? And he just doesn't give me that thorough, he just doesn't do it. There's nobody. Noah, he looks scruffy like he's a dog, puppy dog or something like that. I mean, I don't know, he's just kind of like... So, anyway, Isabella throws the rings at him, and Noah seems to think that Grace said something to her. No, she didn't, Noah. Okay, she did not. Your wife came in to apologize to her, and she didn't know, and your wife figured it out. And, for real, I mean... You already knew what it was, and if you were trying to get him away from him, all you gotta do is just go ahead and marry him and move. That's what the plan was. You just you just didn't make it to that point, but I mean, if you just... But I mean, I know that I talked about this earlier, about when Charity was singing that song, and she was breaking down, because she pretty much knows something is going on, right? And so old choir director said, well, the only way you're going to figure this out, baby, is if you sit there and ask. And she's like, okay, but... Because, when you're in a relationship like that, sometimes you don't want to know and put it out there. Because if you do, if he just came out and told you the truth, it might fuck you up, and you might think that you'd rather hear it from him, but sometimes you don't want to know. And that's you know what, in this homosexual lifestyle, people who have been together for 15 and 20 years, I guarantee you this, that one or both have stepped out of that relationship at some particular point in time. But the thing is, if you do, your king or your queen or whoever she is should never even know, suspect, or think, because that's what you're going to do, is give them the utmost respect. And Kevin, you ain't even messing with nobody, and you giving yourself the fuck up. How do you get fucked up and get caught, and you sitting there always on the phone, sticking it in your pocket? And when Charity sat there and said, fuck this motherfucking goddamn shit, why are you always on the phone? Every time I come up to you, you're on the phone. That's what I'm saying. Nigga, are you that pressed to be looking at these sites? Bitch, get you some motherfucking dick then. How many times you been looking on the motherfucking goddamn line? Get you some motherfucking dick. Go to the whole straw. Because you don't want that electronic trail to be coming and what your history is or where you've been on the fucking goddamn phone. She's a woman. She can figure that shit out. Come on now. Don't be doing no... Don't. you just sitting there doing that dumbass shit. So when she was sitting there asking for the phone, that is actually tussling, okay? And then he gonna sit there and say, and come to me when you're ready to apologize. Bitch, you sound like a motherfucking goddamn sissy if I never seen it. I'm ready to sit there and sit you down on the motherfucking goddamn bench, but give you 2 pairs of motherfucking pom-poms and ask you to go out and do a motherfucking cheer for my motherfucking ass. I mean, I don't get you. I don't get you at all. So, the part at the end, Grace is looking for Pops. Well, Pops pulls out his little gun thing, and you know, everybody now knows. I mean, it's not about just the 2 people, the 2 kids that he took. I mean, gave the scholarships to, and took them, you know, fishing and all that type of stuff. They now know that he did this to their daughter, and that they wasn't believing Grace, and that Grace was like a troublemaker. Now they know for a fact that he most likely did that to their daughter, and I'm a little afraid what's going to happen, because we already know he has tremors in his hand. But he goes down there to Mac's office, and he goes in there, and Mac's trying, you know, brush it off like everything's okay, and because he was over there all quiet, and he pulled out his gun and had it in his hand. He said, May couldn't convince you. She said, he said, you couldn't convince her. Mac didn't know this, but May, she already knows it. And they just trying to figure out how this didn't come out in the show, but I'm sure this is the whole situation. They just don't know how they're going to come out with this, because, number one, they don't want their church to be caught up in no scandal like this, that all these years he has been doing this over all these years. They don't know how they're going to be able to handle this, but at the same token, they're not going to let him just get away with this. He is going to go to jail for the rest of his life. Now, he pulls that gun out on him, and he's pointing it at him, and Grace is looking for him, and now she figured out where he is, so she's racing down the hallway trying to get to him, and, no gunshots went off, but I'm just sitting there saying, I seen the way the bishop was shaking with his hand, and he has those tremors. So I don't know if Mac's gonna get that gun away from him and shoot him. I don't know, but we have one more episode left, and this series is an excellent series. I really am going to see it come into full play as far as Kevin and Charity. I feel bad for Charity, number one. I wouldn't feel bad with it if she had a man. You know what I'm saying? Because if she had a man, then she wouldn't even be feeling the insecurities, because, the love of my life left me to marry a bitch. When he was with me, he had 2 kids. I worked at night. They could come. I didn't care about pussy, as long as they was not there when I was there. And that is the respect that we got. And that's the way it went. But I knew he loved pussy. I know that. I did. But would I ever sit there and try to get him or talk to his baby mamas or anything like that, other than saying I'm anything other than his brother? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even try to take that from him. Why would I want to take that manhood away from him? Well, see, Kevin don't have that. Kevin has that soft thing. He's one of those people that are flip-flopping. You do me and I do you. Fuck that motherfucking bullshit. Y'all take that shit somewhere else. People getting married and you be like, well, who in the fuck is the man and who in the fuck is the woman? Are y'all both doing... Yuck. Shit. What the fuck is really going on up in this motherfucker? Now, I'm just going to tell you, I'm getting ready to get up off this line, but right now I don't got nothing else better to do than just sit there and talk about the way these shows have been going. You got the choir director walking around, holding hands with his Okay, fine. You're married. You got a significant other. Oh, okay, fine. Y'all don't have to do that shit out motherfucking goddamn public. You do not have to. Not in the church. Everybody got to be delivered from something. And I mean, I know that you got to be. I already know what the situation. Everybody got to be. But you don't got to go up in there and just do that crazy ass shit that you doing. You don't. You don't. I'm really getting tired of these shows right now. Be just making. I mean, they be trying to act like they're reaching out to the LGBT community, and the storylines that they be putting on us sometimes they don't be accurate. And all I want is for somebody to get the whole picture accurate. So next week we'll see what's going on. I done said this once. I done said this twice. Now I'm going to say it 3 times. Please vote. Yes. Please comment. And please subscribe to my channel. And yes, I have had a cocktail or two tonight. And smoked a little bit of bud.